Here's the question from Amber, and I apologize that sometimes when I read these things, I don't actually understand what the question is. And it's not because the user didn't explain it properly, it's just my brain didn't work well. But I get the idea that Amber recorded two things. She was capturing her coursework, which had an audio track that wasn't playing while she was recording. So I assume that she was doing some sort of voiceover or an insert where she was putting herself in there. Maybe if I had a little better clarification on that, I could give her hints for the future. But let's deal with the problem right now, which looks grim from my point of view, but I'll point out a couple of options. Okay, right off the bat, I'm going to say I don't think there's a way to separate the voices. Now, there are tools available to do things. If we right-click on a video clip, then we can go into the Adjust Audio. There is a AI vocal remover, and it works very well if you're trying to separate music from the singer. It works excellently. And even if you have a video with perhaps some loud background noise and you want to try to enhance the vocal part of it, you can separate it out. What you end up, when you use this tool, you end up with 3 tracks. You maintain the original track attached to the video clip. You end up with a background noise or background music. And then the third one is the vocal. So that's a tool, but that's for separating voice from other stuff. But if you have 2 voices, I don't think that tool is going to work. Now, on the very off chance that Amber's voice got recorded on one channel and the video got recorded on the other side, you could go into the audio part of it, and you can go down here to the audio channels. You've got a left and right. So if, for example, her audio was captured by the left channel and the video audio was on the right channel, all one would have to do then is probably just set everything over to the left side in order to just play that. I don't think that that's the case. I don't think it's going to work. I bet they're equally blended on both channels, but it's something that one could try. This option here is just for saying which part do we want to use, left, right, or whatever. Left to its own devices, you're going to get a mix of stereo, left and right is going to be put in. Just as I'm recording right now in one microphone, it's going to go into the left and right sides. So not likely that that would work. Now, on the other off chance that Amber's voice is at a totally different pitch or range that whoever is speaking in the video, you could perhaps minimize by clicking on settings here and figure out what Amber's range is and raise hers while the other one, let's say if it was a baritone person or something like that, you might lower their range. And that would make Amber's voice louder and the other person's voice lower. But they would still be there. So it's not, again, it's not the ideal fix either. This is future advice. It's not advice for current situation, but I'm not quite sure what type of recording you were doing. From the description, I would say Amber had a video down here. She was playing it, and she was speaking instructions while it was playing, and she didn't realize that she was capturing the voice that's down there. So a way to actually turn that off, that means that she was probably doing a PC screen recording. Okay, so we're in here on the PC screen recording, and we can see that we can turn the sound on the computer on and off right here. So if we want that to be playing at the same time while we're recording, we would have it off like this. If we want it not to be a part of our recording, we would simply turn it off and only have the microphone. So that's how one would handle that. And that would be the recommended way to do it in the future. Again, if I'm understanding the question correctly. Okay, so in the current situation, she has a dual soundtrack on her video. And my suggestion is she probably can't separate the voices. Maybe somebody else has a brilliant idea that I haven't come up with. The next thing to do is to redo her own voice track. And in order to do that, she would use the voiceover option. And the voiceover option would let her mute the soundtrack while she's recording. And then she would just simply hit the record button here, and she would record her voiceover, which would then become a separate soundtrack below here. Now, if she also needs the soundtrack from her video, then the option would be to lay the video, let's get rid of this for a second, would be to just put the video back down on here and then put her own soundtrack below. At that point, she would have two separate soundtracks, and she could use, she could mute the existing soundtrack and or whatever she wants to do with it, and then just have her own soundtrack. Now, if she's trying to record something like a video clip, her instructional video is playing, and she wants to do the voiceover or recording while the video is playing, then you would record using the PC screen option. Again, this is an option for the future. It's not anything that's going to solve the current problem. But let me just show you, because most people don't see this little settings feature right here. And this is very nice. But the very first part of this settings here allows you to do something. Here, this is the standard camera screen merging. In other words, your little image is going to appear down in the corner on the screen, or you're going to be able to move it around to some other place. But the other option is to do screen splitting. And when you do that, you actually see the entire screen playing and the sound and everything else. And obviously you can turn that off up here so you don't want it playing at that point in time. But your track and your voice track will be a separate channel. And you can take that channel and add it onto track number 2 right above your other one, and you can resize yourself or whatever. And that's the way I would do a recording if I was you for the future. And that would separate your voice from the voice of whatever's on the audio track. I know that doesn't help with your current situation, but these are the best suggestions that I have for you.